talk about the recording process a little bit. I assume before you brought people in that the band went in and did all the bed tracks so that everything was. Is that a fair assumption?
We did. We went in and cut everything, put it all down, and we even and that's one of the things we tried to do with this project. Being it was for Cracker Barrel, it's our first CD on the Bluegrass label, and we could do what we wanted to without any other input. We decided to do each song and put on it what we thought it needed to be. If we thought it, like Folsom Prison Blues to me, had to have that old Johnny Cash sound on electric guitar. Right. It just had to be on there. Even though we're a bluegrass band, we still put all of our bluegrass instruments and just mixed it in. I think in my mind, I was sort of thinking with the way Skaggs did when he came out into the country world back in the 80s, that type of a feel on it. And so the things that we wanted to put electric guitar on, we brought in Kent Wells that had played with us with Dolly. And he's just a great player that can play any style, acoustic, electric. So when we need electric guitar, we just put it on there, did all the tracks, and then like when Thad Paisley wanted to play guitar, we just turned his track off and let Brad put the guitar on. Brad likes to play and sing. He said it helps, inspires him, which, of course, he's such an awesome guitar player anyway.
Oh, he let it rip, too, yeah.
Oh, he did. He got after it. And then Devil Went Down to Georgia. We cut the track. Jeremy played all the fiddle, and we had fully planned with Charlie playing fiddle, but he went, after he heard it, he was like, I don't want to mess with that. He loves Jeremy's fiddle playing. Of course, we've done several things with Charlie over the past couple of years, and so he didn't want to mess with fiddle, so he left the fiddle on there and just did the talking part on it for us. And so, we did all the tracks, and then when the people sang, then we would decide from there. A lot of the times we had in mind what we thought would be, but sometimes we'd take out a verse that they sang, one of the guys would sing a verse. Sometimes we'd leave more than we planned to leave and just put harmonies on it, just kind of did it as we went, as what we thought each song worked best with. And I don't know, it feels like it came out great. I'm excited about this record. I had more fun listening to this thing probably than anything we've ever done.
It's very cool.
Hopefully everybody will like it.
It's very cool. Yeah, I noticed in the liner notes that some of the vocals were done at different studios. I assume those artist studios or whatever. Now, in those cases, is that to accommodate schedules? And were you actually there for those, or did they mail them and then you say yes or no, or how does that process work?
We were like at the Oak Ridge Boys. They cut their studio. We went up there with them. Charlie Daniels cut his studio. We went over to his studio with him. Now, like Joe Nichols, he had to cut in Texas, so he cut it by himself and sent it to us. And then Brad Paisley cut it. He's got a studio in his house, and Brad had the flu, and he's another one that almost didn't make the record, but he went ahead and cut his at his house last day and sent it to us, and, of course, it was all killer. So those are the two that we wasn't there when they cut them. Everybody else, we were in the studio, and got to be with them and stuff. So it's, this day and time with the way recording is, it's amazing how it's getting to where people are just doing everything at home. I mean, everybody's got Pro Tools at the house. They're sending tracks here, there, everywhere, getting people to put stuff on it, send it back in the studio, mix it, and do it that way. It's making it a lot easier. I tell you, if you'd had to schedule things and get everybody in the studio, I don't know how you'd pull off a record like that. It's like I heard like We Are the World. Yeah, when they did the We Are the World thing, I think they did that after an award show.
Yes,
or,
that's right.
After the Grammys or something, and everybody was there at one spot, and they just funneled them into the studio and did it straight out of there. Or they, getting people together like that is nearly impossible.
Yeah. It's funny. You actually brought up something I wanted to touch on. Bluegrass by its very nature is sort of a home, down home kind of a type of music, and it's a very organic type of music. And the recording process has changed in every digital domain now. Well, what I think is really interesting about this record is that it still retains a real genuine vibe, even though parts of it are obviously flown in from others, other tracks or whatnot.
Right.
How do you keep that vibe?
Well, I think that comes to the cutting of the tracks and the you know, we go in and we cut everything. We cut it all at one time. You know, we sit down, we play it. So it's not like the bass player went and cut, and then later on the guitar player went. I mean, we all went in as a band, so we'd have the band feel and put it all down. So every track you hear was done all at the same time, except Brad Paisley's guitar.
Right.
Everything else we all cut in the studio at the same time, which for me, I think with us, that's how you get your feel, is how a track is going to feel. I mean, we'll start working on a track, and it's like we'll lay it down, you know, lay the track down, and one of the things I want to do is ask the singers, I'm saying, how does that feel to you? Because you're the one singing it. You know, most of the time, Jamie is singing our scratch vocals, so on the songs he's singing, he's going to be telling you as it's going down, you know, that's got a great feel. And then there's been times when he was like, you know, I'm not sure how this feels, and we'd have Terry Eldridge actually just sing along with it on something he's singing to see how he feels, and he might be like, you know, guys, we might need to change that a little bit or something. But we just want to be sure that when we cut the tracks that they're all as I guess having as much of a live feel as you can, because for me, the more that you overdub and redo and somebody comes in and fixes, I think that starts to pull that you know, that I don't want to say live, but maybe that the feel just pulls away the natural feel of it, and makes it seem more mechanical, I guess, would be more of it. I think you're going to be always way better off. And also, most of the tracks we did, I would say 90% of them are first or second time through.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's
because
great.
the more you play the tracks, the more you start thinking about it. The more you start thinking about it, the more you start just getting more, you know, structured and more, you know, it's always, I think the feel will always be better in the earlier tracks. So if you can get a good track down first, second time through, even third time, you know, it's better than sitting there and trying to beat it to death. I think each time gets to be less feel and more mechanical. That's from my ear. And most of them, and that's kind of the way the Grascals look at it. We all, you know, it's really pretty much about, we want our music to be real and to have that kind of a feel to it. So when people listen to it, it does have more of a live feel and less of a, they went in the studio and did a studio record, you know. So. Right.
Now, I know you got to get going, but one last one real quick. A name that jumped out of the credits here that I thought was interesting is Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
How did that come
about? That's a great story. Well, you know, Steven has gotten to be a great friend of the band. About 3 years ago, Jamie Johnson gets a call one day. On the other end of the phone, the guy says, yeah, this is Steven Seagal. Jamie said, okay, sure, it's Steven Seagal. You know, and I actually had that kind of conversation. He said, no, really. And what he had been doing is he had been listening to Sirius Radio, and he heard one of our songs on Sirius Radio and loved it. And he tracked us down and called Jamie and said, you know, the song actually was a song we did called Home. And he said, I love that song. I love the way you all sound. And he said, I would love for y'all to come out here to L.A. and play at my birthday party this year.
Really?
So we flew out to L.A., went to his house, sang at his birthday party, got there the night before, and he's got a studio in his house, and he had myself and Jeremy, the fiddle player, go in, and I guess we probably played on 10 tracks on a CD he's working on. And then the next day we played his birthday party, hung out with him, you know, and he was just the nicest man. And then last year we went to Louisiana, to his house in Louisiana, and did his birthday party again. And so when he calls Jamie all the time. He and Jamie have gotten to be big buddies. He wants to, you know, Steven's quite a good guitar player and singer. It's surprising. He's more of a blues kind of a guy, and it's you know, we've jammed with him and stuff. So but he calls Jamie all the time. He talks with him and stuff. And Jamie was telling him about what was going on, and he's a big supporter of St. Jude's behind the scenes that nobody knows about. I think he's lost some people in his family and stuff. So it hit him so hard when he heard the song I'm Strong, you know, that he actually wrote 2 new verses and sent them to Jamie, and he did a little video for us that I don't know if it's up on our website now, but it will be just talking about the song and what that means to him, and he sang the whole song, and we just in that one took that one line, and put in there for him, and but he's actually a good friend. He talks to us a lot, so we kind of be buddies with Steve.
Well, that is interesting. That's for sure. That's cool.
Yeah, he wants to go out on tour and do some shows. He's from once every several years he goes and does a tour, and he wants to, if we do, he wants us to go out and do shows with. Actually, not play with him. He wants us to open shows as the Grascals and him do his thing, and then maybe us have a little jam part together in it. So that may come together. We've been talking about it a couple of years, but it hadn't happened yet. So we'll see somewhere down the line. But he's a good guy. He seems like he stays in that his voice and this whole thing, but he's a good guy, nice guy.
Cool. Is there anything else you want to say about this record before we go today?
I think I probably said it about all. I'm just excited. I hope everybody can go out and grab a copy of it, and because I think for me again, it excites me to just know that it's benefiting St. Jude. Every one that's sold, and boy, if you go down to St. Jude and see what they're doing for those kids, it just the first time we went, I was dreading so much going. I thought, oh my. But after I went and took the tour, and they even took us into the research facility where they're doing the stuff, where showing you what your money goes to. When we saw that, I left there with a whole new outlook on it. Just seeing how those little kids are so sick in there, and I don't think they know it. They get to ride tricycles and play with wagons. They can do. They've got the run of the place just like they're at their home, and everything is painted up bright and cheery, and it's just a great facility, and for us to be able to be involved to try to help in any way is, I think, the most exciting part of the record for me.
Well, that is great. Thanks very much. Congratulations on this record. It really is a good record. It's a great record.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you talking with me, and if you ever, want us to do anything else, holler at us anytime.
I sure will. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. You have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.